Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And what the hell is going on with comics?
Well, I'm going to tell you all to grab your popcorn, grab your butt. Neon is mad. It is not going to be me yelling, but I can't promise Neon won't yell. He's scarier than I am.
I am going to try to remain composed. I've got a lot of thoughts. I saw some stuff come up this morning in the comics news, actually on Comics Beat, that there is a campaign, a crowdfunding campaign on IndieGoGo. It's Dynamite Comics, Dynamite Entertainment. And I want to be very clear before I go into this discussion.
He's gonna yell.
I might yell. But I'm also going to be very clear that I am not, throwing any stones at these creators. They have nothing in it. This is Dynamite's decision. I want to talk about the bigger issue, specifically with the comic book media and how they've demonized certain independent comic book creators for years. And now they're all like, hey, everybody, go to IndieGoGo.
Mm-hmm. After they've been saying IndieGoGo was the place for, the no good nicks and the alt-right Yahtzees.
Yes, after they got Dynamite to renounce all association with Comicsgate creators, now all of a sudden, now it's okay. Now it's okay to go to IndieGoGo. And
now they'll cover it.
Now they'll cover it. Yes, Comics Beat specifically has avoided covering IndieGoGo crowdfunding campaigns, Comicsgate or not, because Comicsgate has used the platform. They use the platform because of the deplatforming over at Kickstarter. Now that Kickstarter bad because of blockchain and NFT, I am wondering if they're going to start pushing into IndieGoGo now and try to take that one over.
I'm sure that's what they're going to do. But before we get into it any further.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 264,000 subs.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you so much for the support. We do talk about comics, having worked in and around the comic book industry for a number of years. Go to shopclownfish.com. That's shopclownfish.com. to pick up the first 2 volumes of our webcomic Shadow Binders. There's a lot more comics material coming. I'm actually looking at some pages being worked on right now, and they look really damn good.
They do.
So we got a lot of projects in the works right now.
Now, I will turn the floor over to Neon because he has a lot to say. And I may interject here and there, but mostly it's going to be Neon losing his shit. So I'm giving you ample warning right now. Grab your booze, grab your popcorn, and get ready.
What the actual fuck? Seriously, what the actual fuck? This is like the 4th or 5th time in the last 2 months.
He's not sorry, Mom.
I'm not sorry. No, my mom swears more than I do. She does. But yeah, okay. So in the last 2 or 3 months, we've seen all kinds of craziness. A lot of mainstream comic book pros saying things that would have gotten you blacklisted from the comic book industry 4 or 5 years ago.
But it's okay when they say it.
It's okay if they say it. Again, I want to be clear. It's not what you say, it's who you are. Okay, when it comes to the comic book industry, when it comes to a clique, when it comes to a club, it's not what you say, it's who you are. Eric Larson says we should stop swapping characters.
No shit.
No shit. But if somebody said that, and a lot of people did say that 3 or 4 years ago, they were alt-right bigots. They were blacklisted from the comic book industry.
Heck, just posting Marvel numbers and saying, what's going on with Marvel? Got you labeled as Comicsgate, and you didn't even know what Comicsgate was.
I didn't even know what the hell it was. I'm like, what the fuck is Comicsgate? But then to get into the good graces of Twitter, you have to go out there and go on some big apology like, I am so sorry that everybody thought I was Comicsgate and please forgive me.
Block everyone.
I'll do better. I'll block the people fuck you.
Oh, remember when they had that statement you had to repeat and copy and paste and post about?
I won't rape people and I'm also not Comicsgate. Yeah, fuck you.
For a bunch of people that talk about fascism, they sure act like fascists.
Yeah, if you're going to ask me to do something like that, fuck you. Right out of the, I'm not even going to mince words. Like, I'm not going to dance around it. Fuck you.
Kind of the opposite of what they wanted anyway. But,
yeah, right.
You're not allowed to fuck you. That's the problem.
I think most people know me well enough by now to know that in real life, I can be very cantankerous. Especially when you put my back up against the wall. So yeah, I didn't comply. I got labeled things that I was not. Not that it matters one way or the other, but it's like I'm not going to say a bunch of bullshit on social media to appease people who can't be appeased. right? So anyway, that's kind of what got us into this situation. The fact that, fuck you, I don't apologize for shit like that. And, but now we're seeing a bunch of mainstream creators come out saying the same things. You know, again, Bill Sienkiewicz was coming out and saying very, very similar things about, you know, and Eric Larson now saying don't swap characters. I'm like, what the hell?
It's pod people.
They're pod people. What the hell is going on? And then Kickstarter was like, that's where all the good people go. All the good people go to Kickstarter. Oh, wait, they're doing NFTs. NFTs too. NFTs too. There was a dude, Mark Brooks, I think it was Mark Brooks, who was totally against NFTs, totally against crypto, all that shit. That's what the bad people did. That's what the Nazis do. And now
Bob Iger does.
That's what Bob Iger does now. Now all of a sudden he's putting some feelers out there to see how people would do. Well, NFTs aren't good or bad. They're neutral. Like what everybody's been fucking saying. What the fuck is going on with what you're realizing now that you're going to be out of a job? Because you're going to be out of a job because David Zaslav is going to fire all your asses. He's already thinking about it.
Warning. Do not take a shot every time Neon says, what the fuck, or you will be dead within 2 minutes.
So now we've got Comics Beat, which at one point in time, Comics Beat was actually a pretty reputable comic book
Long time ago.
We're talking 10 years ago. But at one point in time, Heidi MacDonald was a real journalist. And I don't know what the hell happened. But now...
Money.
Yeah, a lot of pettiness.
Well, didn't they sell it to somebody and then they bought it back?
She was on, it was on Publishers Weekly originally, and she did a rundown of like, I mean, she was there like at ground zero with the whole...
I mean, the Comics Beat, didn't she sell it to somebody and then bought it back?
I thought it was sold or partnered with Hiveworks at one point. And then
well, that was for advertising.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Oh, no. It was, that's right. It was, oh, hell, what's the name of that publisher? Lion Forge. I think it was Lion Forge.
I think it was, that's right. I think that's right.
Yeah. But anyway... They have deliberately been avoiding covering IndieGoGo. Even campaigns by people that aren't Comicsgate. There are a lot of people, including like DC creators, that are on IndieGoGo for whatever reason, and they haven't covered an IndieGoGo campaign in years. Okay, so
they're busy kissing Kickstarter's ass until Kickstarter was the devil.
Yeah, Kickstarter's the devil now because NFTs and blockchain and yada yada yada. So a couple of years ago, Dynamite Entertainment got in trouble because I don't know the whole story. I know what I've seen of it. But apparently the guy who runs Dynamite knows Ethan Van Sciver or something. And of course, you know, look, Van Sciver used to be a mainstream comic book pro, I'm sure. He knows a lot of people. But I think Dynamite was actually kind of helping them out to get their stuff published and distributed. And the mainstream comic book press caught wind of it. And they blasted Dynamite. They had Twitter like, oh my God, Dynamite's Comicsgate. How dare you? All these rags, you know, creators are withdrawing at principle from Dynamite Entertainment due to Comicsgate crowdfunding projects. Oh my God. So then Dynamite came out and publicly denounced Comicsgate, denounced people associated with Comicsgate, made a big deal. Oh, we're so sorry. The speech you're supposed to give to make sure that...
Well, they should have known better anyway. They were behind that stupid Rainbow Bright reboot that was absolute shit.
Yeah, what the fuck was that about?
And it didn't sell, and they had to cancel it, and they knew it wasn't good. So why the hell would you double down on that, you know, after the fact?
Yeah, full disclosure. We actually went after that license. I tried to get it from them because I thought we could do a better job with it.
Oh, I know we could do a better job.
And unfortunately, it's locked down. It's sitting there rotting. So congratulations, Dynamite. When you want to talk, you know where to find me. Anyway. So they bent the knee. They gave the speech you're supposed to give, you know, if you want to stay in the good graces of Twitter. It didn't really do them any good, I don't think. I don't think it helped their sales really any, and now they look stupid. Right? So they're pissing.
Apparently it didn't help their sales, because why else would you go to a crowdfunder now?
That is a damn good question.
I mean, and the ones that do, like Boom and stuff, they've gone to, you know, Kickstarter.
Yes. Why IndieGoGo?
Well, because that was the approved place to go, was Kickstarter. But now IndieGoGo, because Kickstarter is considered like, oh no, don't go to Kickstarter because NFTs in it. And it's, even though they said they were thinking about it, they actually hadn't done anything. It's now considered, you know, bad place to be, and you shouldn't be seen at Kickstarter. So now they're coming for IndieGoGo to take over at IndieGoGo.
That's exactly what I think is going on. And now, again,
They're not doing a very good job.
no, this campaign's been out there for a couple of days. It's made over $200. That's it.
Wait, and their goal is only $500. Okay, wait, this is some weirdness. Wait, you're funding a Dynamite Entertainment project, but the goal is only $500, so you know it's going to hit. So this is about PR, not about paying for the project.
Some people would say that's Kickstarter too, and they have problems with companies like, but because they were going to publish Power Rangers anyway, they were going to publish.
Right, but they didn't ask
anyway.
for $500, did they?
No, I think it was a lot more than that. We did on our Shadowbinders campaign. We did $500 because we already had the books done.
Right,
the
for
books
us,
were
it
literally
was like,
just
I mean,
done.
is that the case here?
I think it's the minimum. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, you know, we were just doing a second chance offer. Maybe that's what they're doing. But it just seems weird that Dynamite would go to IndieGoGo with a book and put it at $500.
Now, I want to be clear too. Do not contact or harass the creators of the book.
Oh, it's not their fault.
It's not their fault. This is probably something that was worked out with Dynamite. It is not their fault. So I want to be very clear. I'm not going to throw any stones at the project itself. I don't want you contacting the creators or being mean to them. It's not their fault.
But people at Dynamite and the media that were like, what the hell?
Yeah, basically what is going on here, and a lot of shit, and just in the last couple of weeks, it's amazing how much backpedaling there's been. For the longest time, it was like, no, it's great that John Kent's a teenager, so he can have all kinds of sex with all kinds of people.
He mentioned that he's gay now and all this other crap.
And now we've got media outlets being like, maybe it wasn't such a good idea to age him up.
You mean when the books didn't sell?
Yeah, when the books didn't sell.
Out and it's shit. Yeah, and then Nerd Wonder said, yeah, that what was the problem of letting him remain a kid? People loved him as a kid. The audience loved him as a kid. I think the only ones who hated him were the heads of DC. And I was like, well, they aged him up so they could sexualize him. But technically, he's still a kid because he's not even an adult. But at least they made him almost legal.
He's on the edge of 17.
That's right. He's almost legal now. So, you know. Super
Sons was a damn fun comic book. It's still popular to this day. And if they want an all ages audience, they should have stuck with Super Sons.
That's because they don't. They want to pander to Twitter, and then it doesn't work, and then it's everybody else's fault. And now they'll probably roll it back.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing all kinds of crazy shit like this where the publishers are walking shit back. Mainstream media outlets are, they've spent all this time attacking, any outlet that allows dissenting opinion, but we're seeing kind of blowback from that. Like, I know it was Newsarama that was kind of leading the charge against Dynamite a couple of years ago, and Chris Arant got ousted, as I understand it. But I'm like, don't forget, this is what I want, because what's going to happen, these people are going to do a 180 on their opinions, and they're going to try to act like they were on board with, well, it's great. If you don't like somebody's comic, you just don't buy it. It's totally fine, guys. Just don't buy their comics. It's okay. IndieGoGo's for everybody. We're all going to go over to IndieGoGo now. Don't you forget that they spent 5 or 6 years attacking and demonizing IndieGoGo. They're attacking Substack now because there are creators on there they don't like. They're attacking Kickstarter. They turned on Kickstarter. I mean, they were all in on Kickstarter.
Right. And now they'll probably go to IndieGoGo and they'll start being like, okay, let's get a foothold there. And then after they get in, they'll start being like, well, it's an awful shame that there are toxic, terrible people and bigots over here on IndieGoGo. We need to take IndieGoGo back, guys, because it's awful. It's truly terrible.
IndieGoGo wasn't always a place for the alt-right. It was just it's like, no, you drove people over to IndieGoGo because they wanted to use Kickstarter. And now that you don't like Kickstarter because of NFTs, now you're going to try to go over there too.
Right.
Now it's acceptable. Now it's acceptable. Now Heidi McDonald is going to cover IndieGoGo, but only IndieGoGos.
Yeah, only ones that are acceptable.
Acceptable. This bullshit has to end. And I think the reason we're seeing so many people finally say what they've actually been thinking is it's safe to do so. The reason it's safe to do so is because other people fought your battles for you.
Yes.
Other people
took the bullets.
Lots of people lost their jobs, got blacklisted, have had to deal with constant harassment for years. So you can just waltz in and park it on a platform and not have to deal with the blowback that these other people had to deal with.
Yeah, and I want to point out, too, any of our quote-unquote friends that were our friends when we were doing really well with webcomics and everything else, and you wanted something, and then as soon as Neon made the comment about Marvel, as an aside, and then you all of a sudden blacklisted us and blocked us for no damn good reason, because we didn't even know what the hell was going on, you can go fuck off, and I don't care if the tides turn and everything. Do not speak to us. We have no desire to talk to you.
Yeah, you fuck off too. I mean, I saw people turn on Peter Simeti.
I know about white supremacy, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, they didn't know. They didn't know. I saw people turn on Peter Simeti. People that actually worked with Peter Simeti.
Oh yeah, I know one person in particular.
Well, that's one of the people I'm talking about.
Yes, he can go fuck himself.
Yes,
and he knows who he is.
Absolutely can go fuck himself. CD. I've seen people that we've known for turn to save face, to try to get themselves...
Didn't work for them at all.
No, it didn't. Try to get themselves publishing deals. It's like, you don't understand. You're not the right kind of person to get into comics at this point. This is what everybody's trying to tell you. Like, it's been locked down by a bunch of crazy-ass activists, and comics aren't for everyone, despite them saying comics are for everybody. It's like, no, comics is for people who make the approved guest list.
The approved list, yeah.
The approved list. That's what comics are for. And you were on the wrong side of it. I know what's going to happen now. Now it's going to be like, NFTs are fine. Let's all do that. Crowdfunding's fine. Let's all do that. Let's go to IndieGoGo too. It's okay. It's all good. Kumbaya, motherfuckers.
You know what I think is going on with the NFT thing? I think they're going around saying it's all shit and getting everybody to denounce it, right? And the reason is because then when everybody else denounces it, then they can hurry up and about face and get in when no one else is looking, and then suddenly get somewhere, and then by the time everybody else catches on and turns around, they're already in and locked in.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So it's like a tactic to get ahead. Like Neon had a friend once who kept telling him that it was wrong for him as in Christian comics and stuff to go work for Marvel and DC.
Effing Christian comics.
Yeah. He told him because if you're a Christian, you would not work in the secular world like that. It was terribly wrong because you had meetings and stuff and he was mad. Well, as it turns out, we found out after the fact, said friend was actually going behind Neon's back and going to Marvel and DC trying to get himself gigs. And what he was doing was he was trying to make Neon quit because he figured if Neon quit, it'd be less competition for him. And that's kind of what I think is going to happen with NFTs and stuff. I think some of these people are trying to be really loud screaming about it because they want everybody else to look one way where they hurry up and go back and make the money. And by the time everybody else catches on, it's already done. And
that's the way a lot of armchair activists are. It has nothing to do with the actual message. It has nothing to do with the actual social justice. It's all about getting in, getting yours before people catch on, to the game. And in this case, it's like there are so many people that lost so much, who have been basically blacklisted from comics for speaking out, who've been afraid to speak out.
Some people made great gains, and they wouldn't have gotten those gains maybe had it not been.
Well, that's true too. That's the other side of it. There are people that thought if they kept their head down, kept their mouth shut, that this would blow over. And I think what happened was a lot of them just quietly got canceled themselves. And I think in the case of Eric Larson in particular, it's like he kept his head down. I can't say he kept his mouth shut because Eric Larson's constantly out there on Twitter with his hot takes, whatever. But he saw the activists at Image Comics turn on him and turn on the other
They'll
Image
eat
Comics.
you last, which we've been telling you.
They'll eat you last. They're still going to eat you.
You virtue signal and you put the right statements out and you get in line and repeat the approved mantras and everything else. It doesn't matter because these people are addicted to taking people down. They're addicted to that. It's a dopamine hit for them. So as soon as they're out of other people that are the obvious targets, they're going to look within and find those people to target. And they'll target everyone and they'll turn on each other until it changes.
Yeah, and I think the tide is turning out of necessity because, just speaking of which, I said about David Zaslav, and Zaslav is probably going to gut DC. It would not surprise me with Disney taking a hit, and we're going to do a video on that later today about their stock. With Disney taking a hit, they're going to look at all the divisions in the company, and they're going to be like, well, what's bringing it, what's not bringing it? Oh, comics aren't really. Do we really need to be spending this much money on comics? We're just making this shit up. As we go,
that.
Anyway.
They already have how many stories are like that same with Marvel. Decades with the stories to choose from. They don't need to go make more. No. They could just license it out to somebody else, let them deal with all the headaches, and go from the stories that did well over the last several decades and pick from that.
Yeah, so we're seeing these publications doing about face. I've seen some of the publications, like Comic Book Resources in particular, actually go more neutral, more newsy lately. They're not doing as many hit pieces.
Stick to news.
Yeah, I think they're being told to stick to news because they're losing credibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous anymore. And people are calling out right and left the media and how they've perpetuated the division, that they, whether it be comics or other things, that they are, all about creating conflict. It's not about the truth. It's about the clicks. And I get it because, the ad rates are down, but the media is behind a lot of it. So we got the media, and every time we see it, anytime somebody steps out of line, here comes the media, like you pointed out. Yeah. Like, trying to get them, canceled, as we saw. And now the same people, like the Dynamite, same person now is wanting to go use the platform they had a shit fit about not that long ago.
Yeah, so, again, don't...
You've actually been pretty good. I'm surprised you're yelling a lot more before the video.
I think I got a lot of it out of my system. I'm trying to be...
Should've saved it for the video.
I'm trying to be more even keel here. I don't want the creators of this book to be attacked. I mean, I want to be very clear on this, but I'm just like, what the hell? I guess I'm kind of like, you got a lot of nerve throwing all these people under the wheels of the bus. And as far as I know, Dynamite didn't do anything wrong. They let some creators that were Comicsgate do some covers or something, and it was the media that had a shit fit. And
but they bent the knee to the media.
Yeah. But now they're like, hey guys, hey, remember us? Yeah, do some. It's like, no, I'd be like, hell no. I mean, this isn't really going to go with that crowd anyway. I can tell just by looking at it, it's not going to go with that crowd. But I mean, it's just the idea of the thing that ComicsBeat is covering it because it's an approved creator, a company that publicly denounced Comicsgate, and they're gonna go for it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a change. I guarantee you, we're gonna see ComicsBeat start covering IndieGoGo projects. We're gonna see,
but not the ones that are doing well, just the ones that are like the approved creators. People.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like, hey, all the new stuff on IndieGoGo this week, all the new stuff on Kickstarter this week. I mean, it didn't take much to get your Kickstarter picked up by ComicsBeat. Not that, a lot of the companies doing well on it even need ComicsBeat, because nobody freaking reads ComicsBeat anymore because they're not credible anymore. Clearly, they're just trying to get you to support their friends. Whatever, that's their business, whatever. But it really is irritating to see that change. I know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to just kind of wave their hands and be like, oh, yeah, I guess some people had some problems with some creators on IndieGoGo a couple of years ago. I don't know much about that. I don't really know what happened. Huh. That's a damn shame. Well, back my IndieGoGo campaign.
Right. Here we're going to take over and then it'll be a little bit of time. I'd be like, well, there's an awful lot of toxic people that came over here after we did, even though they were here first. We need to boot them off of IndieGoGo now.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
I know exactly.
I mean, I'm not trying to be. Look, I'm not trying to be like, hey, because I do believe the platform should be neutral.
That's what I do agree with. I mean, everybody should be allowed to be on there.
But it should be the same with Kickstarter too. It should have been the same with Kickstarter. It should have been, you can use the platform as long as your content isn't violating terms of service. That's what it was supposed to be. And that's not what it was. It was, we don't like this particular YouTuber. So because we don't like this YouTuber, we're going to, scream and whine until they blacklist his project. And we've seen a lot of bullshit. We've seen them. They've tried for years. They have tried for years to get people pulled off of IndieGoGo. Because in their mind, they've got the moral high ground. They're deplatforming the bigots and the Nazis.
Well, their mind that, you have to go disappear off the face of the earth for them to be happy.
And it's not,
Let's just hope no one turns around and treats you the same way.
It's not even about being a bigot or a Nazi. It's about the fact that
you're in the way?
You're in the way. That's exactly what this is about. Don't even pretend this is about having the moral high ground. This is...
Well, that's what they'll disguise it as.
Yeah, that's how they couch it. But the reality is they are your competition. The people that are doing crowdfunding campaigns right now and embarrassing your asses are eating into mainstream comic book revenue, and you can't stand it.
Well, they also are under the impression that if you're gone, that then suddenly everybody's going to back, if I get rid of the competition, they're just going to come back me. It doesn't work that way. No. Sometimes, like we saw with the Keanu Reeves comic, that people were there to back that, and they were pissed about that. It's like, and some people actually probably got backers from that, but that being removed wasn't going to have all these people come in and back yours.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. Just because they love somebody else doesn't mean they're going to love you.
it's a bunch of bullshit. This has to end. Just do not forget all the bullshit that people had to go through, that fans had to go through, just to get to this point. And now they're just going to wave their hands and be like, well, whoopsie doopsie. I guess it's all over. Oh, it's okay. IndieGoGo, whatever. Kickstarter, whatever. Whatever you want to do. You do you, boo. Whatever. Never mind that we've, completely destroyed people's lives. Never mind. All right, we're going to wrap this shit up.
Yeah, please do.
All right, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.